going on? It's your girl V.
And it's your girl April Love.
And this is Love Unlocked Talk. And this is season 2.
Yes, finally.
I know, it's been a while. And I know that you guys are not used to seeing our faces. We started off as a podcast only, and now we are on our podcast, which is sponsored on Spotify and also on YouTube. So this is our first episode of season 2, and we are now ready to get started with the episode. So this week we have some interesting topics to talk about, but first I wanted to get into April Love and find out how she's been doing. It's been a while, so what's going on?
It has been a while. What have I been doing with myself? Going to the beach, going to parties, living life like normal, not really too much. What's been going on with you?
The same. You know, I'm living my best life. You know, I'm not really trying to act like I haven't been doing things. You know, we've been a few places.
We've been getting around,
doing a little something. But yeah, you know, just living life and trying to enjoy the most of it until as much as we can until they shut it down again. So that's pretty much where we're at. So
I don't know. Do you think they're going to shut it down again? It seems like it could possibly be just moving slowly to us just getting back to some type of normal. But do you think they're gonna be like?
That's what they want you to think. They want you to get comfortable and think life is about to be back to normal.
Boom.
Boom. It's just gonna be just as quickly as it came before. It's gonna come just as quick, but it's gonna be worse this time because they gave us a little taste. And we're not gonna be prepared. Well, they're not gonna be prepared because I'm prepared. Like I have everything I need. My toilet paper. I have all the stuff that I need, y'all. So don't get too comfortable because we have no idea when they're gonna drop that gauntlet and be like, shut it down.
Well, yeah, I will say I do think y'all need to get out there and be prepared for whatever, because you're right. If there is a second wave, it probably is going to be way more intense, and yeah, you need to get your food up, get your toilet paper, get your
non-perishables,
right, get your water.
Yes.
Everything.
Speaking of water, as y'all can see, I am drinking water, not wine, like my good girlfriend, good sis over here. I am in a process of detoxing, so it's gonna be water for the next few weeks in a wine glass because I keep it classy. But, you know, without further ado, let's get into our weekly dirt. April Love, what do you have for us?
All right, hey everyone, it's your girl April Love, and this is our weekly dirt. So we have been gone for a while, and a lot has happened during our break. We've had entanglements, folks getting shot in the feet, presidential announcements, suicidal attempts, and pregnancies, the whole works. We really could be here all night talking about all the stuff that has happened.
Yikes.
But we don't have that type of time. So I want to start us off with the good stuff. The good stuff, folks were locked up, but now they let them out. We have rapper Loon was recently let out after serving 9 years of his 14-year sentence. Jules Santana was also let out and is a free man after serving 17 months of his 24-month sentence. And it has also been announced that Bobby Schmurder should be coming home soon. So, congrats to them.
Yes. Congrats to them.
Pregnancies. So, Tiny and T.I.'s daughter Neek announced that she is pregnant. Khalees, her milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. She also announced that she is expecting a child. 6ix9ine girlfriend Jade also announced that she was pregnant.
Corona babies everywhere.
Yes, the Rona babies are gonna be wild. But I do want to say, because I think I said this earlier, is that the shade room was a little shady when they posted.
They were
shady. they posted that. They posted her post, but it was saying that she was celebrating her man's music.
Right.
But her caption said, "I'm pregnant," so I don't know.
The shade was definitely there.
Nicki Minaj also finally announced her pregnancy over our break last month. So congrats to all the mommies and the future Rona babies. Relationships. Common and Tiffany Haddish finally confirmed that they were in a relationship after being rumored that they were together for a while. I mean, now that it's out, I wonder how do you feel about it?
I'm confused. I'm shocked.
Really? Did you already hear that they were together though? Like, you didn't hear the rumors?
I heard that they were friends. I didn't hear that anything was official. Like, I really just didn't think that Tiffany Haddish was his type at all.
Goofy, chill, you know what it is with Tiffany for me is that Common seems so serious.
Right. And
she just seems so goofy that I was just kind of like, maybe they balance each other out. But I think when I first heard the rumors, I was kind of like, yeah, maybe they're just friends because she seems like really on the goofy
See,
side.
I don't find her goofy. I don't find anything about her appealing. I am not here for Tiffany Haddish at all. Like, I just...
You don't think she's goofy?
No.
I mean, I could see people have said they don't think that she's funny.
She's not funny.
You don't think that she's just on the goofy side?
No, I think she's dusty. I'm not a fan. Like, I'm not here for her. Like, in the slightest. Like, there's nothing about her that makes me be like, oh, she seems like a good catch.
Well, I will say, probably a couple years ago, I did see, I forget what year it was. I saw a Breakfast Club interview with her, and I mean, she was talking about some serious stuff. I liked her. I don't particularly think I like her movies or her comedy, but I mean, hey, they confirmed they're together, and hopefully it lasts. I mean, folks are getting older now, you know. It's time to settle down. Settle on down now.
Slim pickings.
All right, so let's get into the dirt. Rona has been tough on these marriages. Tracy Morgan and his wife are calling it quits. I also was reading that Dr. Dre's wife, because they're also calling it quits, is like she needs a little million to hold her over.
Slight millions?
Yeah, just to keep
million.
her good during this process. So Azealia Banks has been in headlines because she posted a cryptic message basically saying that she's been feeling down and out with all the social distancing and public ridicule that she's been receiving. And in the message, it almost suggested that she didn't want to live much longer. She was trending on Twitter with people showing their support for her and shaming folks for not doing the same. She often finds herself in blogs for all the wrong reasons, usually after something negative. Do you think people should be showering her with support during this downtime?
That's rough for me, because I am not here for his other things. I'm not here for nobody, y'all. Like, I do not like that woman. She is a mess.
Well,
it's hard for me to have sympathy for her. I think it's a cry for attention. This is what she does. This ain't the first time that she's done some wild stuff for people to feel sorry for her. Like, even when she was on Wild 'N Out and she did that whole thing about the dark skin and this, she's just always doing the most, and I'm so over her. So I don't know. I don't know how believable this is.
I mean, I don't know. We recently heard about Tamar Braxton attempted suicide. So you really just never know what's going on in these people's lives. And for her, I would imagine, I was more surprised about Tamar than her, because I'm like, she is always in the media for some negative stuff. People are always clowning her. No one ever seems to be supporting her. So I could see her possibly being on the suicidal side, but
I mean, if she really is, then obviously
yeah.
I'm gonna be like, I hope that she gets the support that she needs, because you're right, you never do know, but because she's cried wolf so many times for so many things, it's hard to say, okay, this is a real situation. With Tamar, it was real. She don't do stuff like that, you know what I mean? But Azalea, this is her MO, and it's just like, sis, like, what are we going through?
Well, hopefully, if she is suicidal and feeling down and out, that hopefully she overcomes that, because you don't really want to wish that on anybody. Right. So hopefully everything is good there.
Yes.
Moving on. Rapper Lil Baby was in the headlines after his girlfriend Jada posted a pic of her new bag. His eldest son's mother posted on her story about him, her IG story, about him not paying their son's tuition. She also came with receipts to show the balance was over $9,000. He responded saying that he didn't want his son in that school, so that's why he's not paying it, but he has been, paying his child support and helping out and whatnot. His girlfriend Jada also tweeted something saying boss up, and his baby mama, they went back and forth, but she responded saying that Jada's boss up was a lawsuit about leaked medical records. Like, bitch, you didn't boss up, you were handed money.
Right.
My question is, do you think that baby mamas should be upset when they see their ex or baby daddy dropping a bag on their current situation? Because I know that we also were reading about this with Moneybag, was it Moneybag? And
yes.
Ari.
Mm-hmm.
He got her a Lambo for her birthday, and one of his baby mamas fell away too. Do you think they should?
I mean, if they're not taking care of the kid, hell yeah, nigga, like, what? You're over there doing what? Why are we not taking care of our child, with you over here buying Lamborghinis? Now, if they are taking care of the child, then no, that's none of my fucking business. Live your life. But
well, I think oftentimes, social media world, people get so caught up on saying, like, basically you're hating that bitch. Like, you see he's doing this for her and you mad, and so now you want to say whatever. But I think you're right. If they're not doing what they need to be doing for the kids, I don't know what agreement that her and Lil Baby have. I mean, if the agreement is not for him to pay the tuition, then I don't know why she's bringing it up.
Right.
But if it is, then yeah, most definitely be like, hold up, sir, hold up.
Yeah, like, if you're doing your part and you're being the father that you're supposed to be and have no complaints, then why would I care what you do for the next bitch?
Well, I think while this wasn't the topic, I do think in Moneybag and Ari's situation, the baby mama was flat out honest. She was like, look, I was just fucking with him not too long ago, and I'm hurt. I'm human. I'm hurt. Like, he over there spending this on her, and
I mean, that makes sense. Who wouldn't be hurt? Like, if you was recently fucking with somebody and you didn't get the Lambo.
I didn't get a Lambo.
She didn't say how that WAP. That's what happened. She ain't had that WAP. It just didn't work. But yeah, I mean, she's right. She is human and she's entitled to feel hurt. But it doesn't mean that you are in the right for feeling hurt if he's taking care of his responsibilities. He's not with you. So why would he do for you? As long as he's doing for his child, then you don't really have nothing to say.
I mean, my whole thing is like, you can feel away, but when you start posting it on social media, it's like, you're doing too much. I understand. You wanted a Lambo too. Moving on. WAP. Cardi dropped her newest single with Megan Thee Stallion. The fans went wild, especially after watching the video. They had a few cameos, such as Kylie, Normani, and rapper Ruby Rose. While a lot of people were hyped about the video and the song, there were some that thought it was just too much and too inappropriate, and oh my gosh, why are these women degrading themselves, talking about stuff like this? How are you feeling? Like,
are we seriously doing this? Like, is this really the issue? Because if I can recall, my neck, my back was not any different, and everybody was in the club. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell is the difference? What's the difference? I love WAP. I'm gonna tell you, I've been playing it ever since that shit. I just played it before
she was listening to it earlier.
I was, and the explicit version as well.
The clean version.
Because, I mean, we are grown, okay? And if you don't want your children listening to it, then you need to censor your children's activity online.
That's real.
I love it. I can relate to it. I know all about some WAP, y'all, so I'm with it.
Well, it took me, I think I just heard the uncensored version on Sunday, I think it was, because I watched the video. Like, I didn't play the song, so I watched the video.
Which was dope as fuck, by the way.
Yeah, the video was really
Love
good.
It.
But the video itself, I was like, oh wow, they saying a lot. But when I heard the unclean version, I was like, oh, what? That little swinging thing in the back of your throat, dangling thing. Oh my gosh.
She meant that shit.
She did. I mean, as a lot of people have already pointed out, I mean, rappers been rapping about females and
slob on my knob, like corn on the cob. Like, what are we talking about here? What is the problem? Like, what do you think the real issue is? Because I'm still confused as to why everybody's mad.
I think it's kind of odd to me, because you would think in 2020 we've moved into a direction where those things are no longer an issue,
right?
But it's almost like traditionally based to me, that mindset that a woman is supposed to be just classy and not talk about those type of things, like sex isn't for her, you know. She shows up there and you do your thing, you have the sex, and she's just kind of like, and then keeps it moving, and she don't have nothing to say, she don't have no feelings, she don't have nothing about it. And it's like, it's 2020. Like, she knows she got a wet ass pussy. She knows that she can get what she want because of her pussy. Mm-hmm. And she like to be freaky with you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the problem was. I mean, I could see some people, obviously, if you don't listen to that type of music at all,
they're clutches like, pearls. My God.
What did I hear? So I can see that for them, but for like people that listen to like rap music, I was like,
what's the problem?
Why?
Everybody mad. Like, it was really, people were in an uproar talking about women, you know, and stripper music, and okay, but that's what it is, and you know what it is, so why are we upset? I don't understand it.
But I heard because I just recently started watching P-Valley. Have you heard of it?
God, I want to watch it, but I don't have, what channel does that come on? I don't have Stars.
So I just signed, because you know you can get a free trial, whatever, but I signed up yesterday and I was hooked.
The previews look dope. So.
But I didn't know how I was going to feel about it, but I literally, like, once I started it, I could not stop until I caught up to like all five episodes, because it had a lot going on. But one of the things, they have like a rapper in there that was really trying to get his music played in the strip club, and it reminded me of 2 Chainz. I feel like that's how they said he blew up, is his music was in the strip club. So I mean, come on, let them put out their stripper music. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let them do that.
I'm with it. I'm here for it. You can hear me banging WAP all day. You hear me?
It's that ass. Well, that is all that I have this week. I'm April Love, and that was our weekly dirt.
Well, thank you so much, April Love. And we are going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we are going to get into our topic of the week, entanglements. Stay tuned. Hey, you guys, welcome back to Love and Loud Talk. And we are going to be, our topic this week is entanglements. As you guys know, everything surrounding the Jada Pinkett, Will Smith situation. We definitely want to touch on that topic. But first, let me ask how you feel about your partner having a close relationship with the opposite sex. Do you think that that is a good thing for a serious relationship? Does it cause problems? What do you think?
So, well, you know me. I like.
You're
Look.
the last person I need to be talking.
You know me. I like a nice little relationship, friendship, entanglement with opposite sex. I think it's cool. I think it's cool as long as there are obviously boundaries within that relationship, friendship, whatever it is. As long as you're not being disrespectful and your partner is okay with it, like I think that's the big thing. If your partner is okay with that, then I really don't see no problem with it. Now, if it's a relationship, well, friendship, that has a bit of some blurred lines, then I think then that can be, obviously, for instance, I'm gonna say I had a friend, strictly friends. He used to call me when he was drunk and, just to talk, and mainly probably talk about his relationships with other females, whatever. But he would call me at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning while I'm laying next to my boyfriend at the time. And obviously my boyfriend knew him. They were actually friends before me and dude was friends. And so he obviously didn't like that. But I am the type of chick where I'm like, look, if we're friends, we're friends. Like, I don't care. And so he didn't really say, he didn't check me. He wasn't like, oh, why you letting him call? What. But he apparently expressed this to somebody else. And it became a whole fight situation between him and another party because they were like, well, you're calling her, you're calling so-and-so's girl at 2 o'clock in the morning, blah, 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 blah. So I think that is an example of a friendship just kind of not having those boundaries and respect to say, okay, I'm in a relationship, maybe you shouldn't be calling me at 2-3 in the morning. But I mean, what do you think?
I don't think it's appropriate. At this point in my life, I'm married. So the answer is fuck no. But when I was dating, I was open. I was more open to that. But it was like mainly just more of a selfish thing because I had a male best friend. I had a male friend who I was friends with forever. We've been friends since I was 14. And I'm like, you was here before him, you're gonna be here after him. If he don't like it, then oh well. That was my attitude, that's how I carried it. And nobody ever had a problem with it. I had him at my, I was engaged at one time to somebody else. And he was at my engagement dinner. My graduation dinner when I graduated from college. Okay. So he brought his woman with him. So he was my friend. Right. And my fiance at the time accepted that because he ain't have no choice. I'm like, hey, this is what it is. You want me, you gotta accept. This is a package deal.
This is what we come
You know what I'm saying? But as I got older and I got into my more serious relationships, I want to say my relationship before this one, I had male friends, but I kept them on the low because I knew that my boyfriend at the time wouldn't be comfortable with it. Okay. And I really liked my male friends. And I didn't want to let them go. Like, it was like, we're not doing anything, but we kind of were. Like, it wasn't sexual, but he would be over my house fixing my furniture, like putting together furniture for me. He would fix my car. He would do things that my man wasn't doing for me. So that's when it becomes a blurred line. Like, can you really just be friends? Because I don't think that no other man should be doing for you what your man should be doing for you. Because then it's like, how would you feel if your man had another bitch cooking for him because you don't cook? That's not, to me, that's like, okay.
But that's too much. That's too much. I think oftentimes when we think of people, like your partners having relationships with the opposite sex, we kind of do get to those blurred lines fairly easily. Like, we're like, oh, but if they doing this, they doing that. No. I mean, obviously, no, you shouldn't have somebody cooking for you. We got a little woman.
I'm just saying.
She on her way. But if it's just chill, I mean, I'm sure you have somebody that you're like, that's your friend. Maybe you don't talk to them like often, or so you
mean now?
Yeah, now.
No.
So you don't have no guy that you're like, oh, that's my friend. Maybe you don't talk to him on a day-to-day.
No. Like, this union, this marriage is a union, and we do not play that shit. Like, because of the fact that lines get blurred. And I had, like I said, I had that friend in my relationship before I got married. And he was my friend even when I was dating my husband. But then he started to tell me he loves me, and he, you know, has always loved me. And then it was just like, well, fuck, we can't be friends no more. And that's what happens. It happens every single time. I mean, whenever you get into a serious relationship, they realize, oh, feelings for you. And then it's like, well, you should have said something, because now I'm with him. And so I just don't think that men and women can be friends and not have issues within the relationship.
Well, I'm just going to say one thing. I think for me, the reason why I personally never seen a problem with, obviously I haven't been married, so that's a whole nother chapter that probably, you know, it's different. You do stuff differently, you move differently. But for me, I grew up the only girl out of all my grandmother's grandkids. So I grew up with boys, you know, and then my teenage years, I moved with my father, and then I was with my father, and the only other family I had was my uncle and my cousin, who was a boy, and then my brother came.
Right.
And so I historically have just had boys around, you know, around me. So I naturally just was cooler with guys than I was females, because it's a totally different thing with guys than it is with females. You know, I don't always want to be catty and talking about, you know what I'm saying? So for me, guys were just a comfort zone, so I just naturally just had more guy friends than I did females. And so I still have quite a few guy friends, and it has never crossed that line. You know, there have been a few that have crossed that line where I can see that, but I can honestly say that I have like real genuine guy friends that are in whole relationships, you know, texting me like, oh, this is the ring that I'm gonna, you know, propose to my girl.
And if it's on that level, that's okay, I think. I mean, if y'all have been friends for a long time, but when it's on the level that mine was on, and it wasn't even like intentional, it just happened. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like, oh, well, I'm gonna have him for this. It wasn't that. It was like, we was cool, we was friends, and there was nothing more to it. But then you start to notice later on down the line, and then they start to express feelings for you, or you start to catch feelings for them. But you know, in this world lately, it's been more the men catching the feelings.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always been somebody catching feelings, and me having to dead that relationship. because of that. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, obviously, I think that if you are in a situation where that is not cool in your relationship, then no, you shouldn't do that. But if you guys have a good relationship and it's okay for your partner to have said friend over there, Becky, Susie, Lizzie, hey Lizzie, hey.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going upstairs, you cooking for him tonight? Okay.
I can tell you a story, a situation in my last relationship. So my ex was a engineer, okay? So he produced beats for people locally or whatever. And he had a studio. And he was a photographer and he did everything, all the things that unemployed niggas do. So he had this friend who was, I guess, within that type of, career or whatever, where she was like plugged into certain things. Okay. And she was over there one day. I had the key to the apartment. So I went over. He told me she was there. I went over, I just used my key, went in or whatever, and they're just sitting there and they're going over, I don't know, something. She has a sheet of paper. I come in and I'm sitting down next to her. She gets up and she lays the sheet of paper in his lap, like in his crotch area, like lays it there. And she's like, look at this. And he's not seeing it or whatever. So he's like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. She's like, just look. And she's touching. And the touching was like, I was on fire. Okay. But I had to sit back and observe because I'm like, what's really going on here? Like, what is this? What do you do?
I need you to look at all of this.
Right. Like all of this. All of this. Like it was a little bit too much. It was a lot too much for me. And then we got into arguments. And he's like, oh, it's all in your head and you tripping and this and that. And it's just like, am I tripping? Because I know what I just saw. So it wasn't just that. It was her, him picking fights with me and then leaving and her picking him up. Like, it was a lot. It was a lot. And I'm just like being stupid as fuck because I'm in love. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe I am,
Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe she was just trying to overreact that thing right there.
Like, so... That for me, it's a no. My husband don't play that. He don't have no female friends. He don't even like bitches pictures on Facebook. It's just, and I don't care about that. It's Facebook. That's not, I'm not that. He can. He just doesn't because he just that's not the type of guy he is. Okay. But yeah, I don't think it's a good thing. I think that it needs to be separate. Like you can have your male friends.
Guys over here, girls over here. I talk to the girls, you talk to the guys.
Right. I'm your female friend forever.
Well, all right then.
Well, on that, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we are going to get into our topic of the week, entanglements. Stay tuned. Hey, you guys. Welcome back to Love Unlocked Talk. And let's just get into it. Let's talk about this entanglement situation. Like, I mean, everybody saw the Will Smith, Jada Pinkett scenario. And I'm just so confused. I'm so confused. I don't really know how to feel. Because basically, they have an open marriage, right? That's really what's going on.
Well, so I want to kind of take it a step back and say, when the news came out and, entanglements and shout out, August has an entanglement song.
I still haven't heard it.
He has an entanglement song now, so. When they first came out and everybody was like so surprised, I was surprised that everybody was surprised because I understand that the Red Table Talk was fairly new and, I think after that became popular, everybody was like, yo, their relationship goals and this, that, and the third. But it had already been rumored years prior that her and August were a thing.
Yes.
So, I remember that. It had already been rumored, and I think a couple years ago he released a song, and in the video he had like text messages, and he was singing about something, and Jada popped up, and he used her middle name or some name in there to like give out, you know, a little sneak. Yeah, I was messing with her. So I was like, why are we surprised? And then not only that, it had already been rumored for many years, even when I was a child, that they were swingers and open relationships. So I was kind of like, okay, what's the problem? I mean, in the context that Jada put it in terms of their relationship basically going south, they weren't really dealing with each other at the time that she got in an entanglement with August. That happens all the fucking time. People separate.
Yes.
Because that's essentially what they were saying. They
separated.
Said they were separated, and she got caught up with August. And then to take it a step further, when they did a red table talk on their relationship, she did say, like, yo, I don't care if we're in the same house and I'm on this end with my boo and you're on this end with your boo, like, we're still together. So she kind of let it be known that they probably both then stepped out.
They definitely both.
I mean, I'm not gonna...
They definitely both. There's documentation of Will on trips with another bitch.
I've been following one of his rumored side bitches
yes.
for years now. So, I mean, in the context, because we could sit here and say, well, they probably have an open relationship anyway, so whatever. But in the context that she put it in, that they were separated, they were almost on the verge of getting a divorce, and she was feeling whatever way, and she found that in August.
But what I am confused about, and I don't want to make this just about Will and Jada.
Right.
But what I'm confused about with this is, why was he so upset?
Who, August?
Will! He knew.
Why was he so upset?
Yeah. Like, why was he tearing up, and what was that?
I think, so for me, what I thought it wasn't the situation per se, but it's one thing to know something is going down privately. It's another thing for everybody to know it's going down. You know what I'm saying? So I think, for real, I think it hurt his ego, because now you got dudes clowning him like, dang Will, yeah, look at, she ain't even sorry. She ain't even sorry. She got her legs crossed, and she talking like, and she still calling him by his nickname.
Sitting Indian style in the chair.
Yeah, she really cool. She really relaxed. Yeah.
You know, nigga, hey,
and, you know,
got some new dick.
She ain't saying August. She's saying Og. She called
yes,
him by his nickname.
Og.
So I think for him, I think it was just hurting his ego. Like, it was embarrassing, because not because of the situation, but because he knew as a man, it's different when a man cheats on a woman than a woman cheats on a man. Right.
Yeah, definitely.
So, when you're looking at it, he already knew that people were gonna be like, "Oh, really, Will? That's how you let her get down? Look at her, the way she just proudly, like, and she'll do it again."
I mean, hey, you know, to each his own. I'm not gonna close it out, the topic. I'm gonna shift gears and say that an entanglement is basically cheating, because it goes back to having the friend of the opposite sex. So I could have very well had an entanglement when I was in a relationship with my friend who was fixing things for me. You know what I'm saying? It's so easy to do. It's easy to get entangled in somebody when your partner is not fulfilling voids that are there in the relationship. It's so easy to do. Is it right? No. And I just think that it's a cute word, but it's cheating. Entanglement's cute, but let's just call a spade a spade.
I'm gonna say, you know, obviously we learned a new word.
Yes.
Entanglement.
It's everywhere.
Spell it. No, I want to say, I don't think entanglements is just limited to somebody being in a relationship and cheating. I think you could be in an entanglement and be single, be available. It's basically a situation that is like a complicated situation. That's what an entanglement is. So she used entanglement to describe a complicated situation with August, and we were like, entanglement, like what?
And everybody just took it and ran with
like,
it.
oh, you were cheating, and it's entanglement, but it's a complicated situation.
Well, I've been single and been in plenty of entanglements then.
So I think a lot of people have been in entanglements.
Yes.
Without cheating. They've just been in a, I don't know what we're doing.
Right.
I can't really see this progressing, but it's cool for right now. And I think that's why she used that word to say it probably was never going to go anywhere because I wasn't okay with myself or whatever. I just was trying to fill a void instead of filling that void myself. So I got into this entanglement. Right. And I think anybody could be in an entanglement at that point. Well, people are in entanglements all the time.
Yeah, I was in an entanglement prior to this relationship. I had 2 guys that I was entangled with. Like I was dating one over here and dating the other over here. When the one wasn't available, I was with the other one, and it was an entanglement because they both wanted a relationship and I didn't want a relationship, but I was entangled with both. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And that's normal. I mean, that's dating. You know what I mean? Basically, you know, when you're not committed to one person, everybody's in a fucking entanglement. If that's the case, are you are you, sis, in an entanglement? Let's talk about you. Because there's some things that you've mentioned. I'd love to hear more.
Well, put me on the spot there.
We have to.
I will say that I was jokingly saying this to somebody recently, but I will say that I most definitely have been in an entanglement. It's tough because when I was saying entanglement, we didn't have like a sexual relationship with each other, but obviously there were strong feelings for one another. And I mean, for whatever reason, I just could not, would not, never not stop that. I just could not let that situation go. So, yeah, I'm familiar with entanglements, but sheesh, they hard.
How does one get out of an entanglement? Like, what is your...
I think honestly, for me, because I've been in a couple of entanglements. I think my problem that I personally have in a situation is I feel like I would be like in awe. I would be like, oh my god. So I don't know that I would be in awe, but I think what happens for me is that I often think about the other person's feelings and I think about the future. So if I'm in an entanglement and it's not really progressing, right? And I know it's not really progressing, I often think about like, okay, you know, down the line, I would hate for me to not be available and, you know, now you're ready to commit and I'm over here married with my 10 kids. And
wow, 10?
Yeah, I tried it. But I feel like that's kind of how entanglements kept whatever. But if I don't see anything progressing, then eventually I'll just be like...
But is an entanglement really for progression?
But see, I don't think that you enter an entanglement with the intentions of being in an entanglement. I think you enter the situation like, oh, okay, this is nice, this is cool.
Like, it's just fun.
Right, and then you
eventually
realize
it
develops into an entanglement,
yes.
And then you're kind of like, okay, where do we go? What are we doing?
Right.
What's happening? So I wouldn't say that somebody's like, oh yeah, to get into an entanglement.
Shit, with today's people, you never know. They think that shit's cute.
You're right. You never know. But I think over time, it just gets into an entanglement when there is no progression. I think that's what it is. When there's no, you know that it's not going to progress outside of what it is. And you're still invested somewhat, then that's when you're in an entanglement. You're entangled in that situation. And it does become hard to get out of it because somebody's feelings is going to hurt. I feel like in an entanglement, when it's complicated like that, it's usually complicated because one person is, I'm good on you, and another person is like, nah, let's be good on each other. So I think that that's what makes an entanglement, and that's why we learned that word this summer. And it was because August was one of the ones that wanted it to progress, and Jada knew it wasn't going to progress into anything. And
I think that if he didn't put it on blast, that it would still be an entanglement. If it's not still, because we don't know.
He said he hasn't had sex in 3 years.
Well, because he's been sick.
No, because he said he was suggesting that he hasn't had sex since he stopped messing with Jada.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, that celebrity lifestyle, I just don't trust much of what comes out of their mouths. I think that there's a lot more to it, and there's a lot more that's still going on that, but they give what they want you to know. And then the rest is private and their business. But, yeah, I'm not, like I said, because with the whole friends of the opposite sex, entanglements can develop. And so that's why I say no. Because one catches feelings, and then you have your serious whatever over here. Or you have another friend over here, another friend over here, and you're stuck in the middle. You don't know really what you want to do, and then it becomes messy. That's how people go crazy. That's how people get ran over. I've seen the video of homeboy getting ran over, and then she beat him with the bumper of the car.
Look, she was sick.
It was clearly an entanglement that went wrong. That he was in that went wrong, and that's why
don't play with your life.
Don't do it. Just fellas, if you value your life, just be honest. Because 9 times out of 10, a bitch gonna stay. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right? Which I think it's more dangerous for a woman to be in an entanglement than a man to be in an entanglement. Because you're right. That's generally what happens. The female will find out and know, and she'll still stick around. But the way men's feelings are set up, you get in an entanglement. They are hurt to the core, and that's hurt. I be like, damn, I end up on that episode of Snap.
Oh my gosh, I watch Fatal Attraction all the time on TV One, and it's always about an entanglement where the wife is having an entanglement, and then the husband kills her or the boyfriend kills her. Like, men cannot take being cheated on. They just cannot take it. So it just cuts too deep, apparently. So it's just best that everybody just keep themselves to themselves. Be with who you want to be with. If you single, state that shit and make it as clear as possible so that there is no confusion and there is no entanglement. You're my friend. You're my friend. We friends.
I friend zoned you.
That's it.
You are now my friend.
Now, if y'all friends who fucking, then you gotta say that shit. I just think everything needs to be clear.
I think that's when friends with benefits, I think that's also leads to entanglement.
Well, yes, definitely.
At some point,
it's messy.
Gonna catch feelings, and it's very rare. I mean, I know that there are people that do it, and it's like, yeah, that's my fuck buddy, but somebody's
catching feelings.
Yeah,
they're hiding it.
Hiding it.
They ain't. Everybody ain't on the same page. You cannot have sex with somebody and think that one or the other is not going to develop feelings. It's just not realistic. That's not how humans are designed.
No.
So, Final thoughts?
I mean, I think what you said is what it is. I mean, communicate, make it clear what the situation is. Hey, you're my side piece. Hey, not promoting side piece,
No,
but I'm just saying.
No.
If you're gonna get into a relationship, I think it should be very clear on where you're trying to go. If you want to remain friends, you're friends. If you're fuck buddies, you're fuck buddies. If you're a side piece, you're a side piece. You know, and keep it as that. But it's hard because again, you start getting touched the right way. What Susan say? She want to be all days, not just the weekend.
Right.
And she knew she was a side piece. So
Right.
it's very tough.
It is very tough, but it's really not. Like, I just think.
Well, I think this is for another topic because I talked to you about being in love, like falling in love. How do you know? Because I think a lot of people get in entanglements, even if they're in a committed relationship with their boyfriend, girlfriend. I often find that there's somebody that doesn't really want to be there, and then there's somebody that really wants to be there, you know, in that situation. And I feel like that's an entanglement in a sense because it's like, you're not, you guys may have put a label on it, but if you're not fully invested, it's very rare that I find people not playing the cat and mouse game with each other as it pertains to love and being in a relationship. So I don't know.
That's definitely another topic that we're gonna have to touch on. But my advice is just be honest and just keep it real. Like, I'm a realist. Like, I want to know. Like, keep it 100 with me. Let me know so that I know what I'm doing. Because if you're not serious, then I'm going to remove my feelings from the situation and just have fun with you until I'm done with you. Like, I'm usually the one that's like, all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's all about communication. It's all about being honest and being real with yourself and being real with that person. And if you know you're not ready for anything, then you need to save a life, probably your own, and just be honest.
Let it go.
So that no one gets hurt. But with that being said, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I will have Ask V. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Love Unlocked Talk. So normally at this point we do a segment called Ask V, where our listeners either DM me on Instagram at Love Unlocked LLC and ask a question, a relationship related question, or something that they just want better understanding on, and I answer it. Since this is the first episode of season 2, I don't have any Ask V questions for tonight, but I do want to talk about our dating game. So Love Unlocked originally started as a dating service, and I still am a dating agency. What we did before COVID was we hosted events all around the DMV and had singles come out. They would get a ticket on the website or, Eventbrite or whatever the case may be, and they would come to our event and they would mix and mingle with singles. So we would play games and they would interact, and then at the end of the night, if they wanted to exchange numbers, they could do so. A lot of the times they did. And if you go to our website at www.iluvlu.com, you can check out reviews and see that it was fun. It was a lot of fun and people really enjoyed it. But then COVID hit and then we weren't able to do mixers, obviously. So right now what we're trying to do is have a dating game where singles basically play a game such as like The Bachelor. So we would have a bachelor or a bachelorette. So that would be one man or one woman for the game. And we would have 2 contestants for that man or for that woman. The 2 contestants are competing for a date with the bachelor or bachelorette. If whoever the bachelor or bachelorette chooses at the end of the game, Love Unlocked will pay for a free dinner for two for that couple. So it's really a fun idea. It's a fun game. I've tested it out with friends and it is a lot of fun, but we are in need of contestants. I have a few people that are interested in being bachelors and bachelorettes, which is great, but I really need contestants. And just because you're a contestant this time around does not mean that you can't be the bachelor or the bachelorette the next time around if you are not chosen. So I just want people to keep that in mind. It is not just about being the main person choosing. Just play along, and then the next episode you can be the main person choosing. I mean, who wouldn't want to win a free date? Like anywhere you want to go, it is on Love Unlocked. I will take care of the bill. So please, if you're interested, email me at loveunlocked19@gmail.com, or you can DM me at loveunlockedllc on Instagram and let me know. Express your interest and I can give you all the details of how the game works. I'm still in need of one contestant. I'm working on the dating game to air on the 26th, 27th of this month if I can get another female contestant to participate in the game. So if you are interested, please feel free to reach out to us. And I hope that I hear from you guys, because once again, this is an exciting opportunity. You're gonna win a date and you're gonna win, it's gonna be at a dope spot because you can pick anywhere you wanna go. Like, I'm not being cheap here. I'm really gonna pay for a very nice place. You wanna go to Fogo de Show? I got you. Okay, so you just need to express interest, get back to me, play the game, and see what happens. You never know, you might meet the one. But it's definitely better than being on a dating app and swiping left and swiping right and not knowing what you're getting and getting a what you do in text every 5 seconds. This is real live grown people wanting to meet somebody and have a great time. So I hope that you guys receive that, and we thank you so much for tuning in. Please, if you like this video, click subscribe. Follow us on all of our social media platforms, on Facebook, Love Unlocked LLC, on Instagram, Love Unlocked LLC, and now we are on YouTube. Love Unlocked is the YouTube channel. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Bye. Till next time.
Hey y'all, it's your girl V.
And your girl April Love.
And we are your hosts of Love Unlocked Talk.
If you like what you saw, please subscribe, like, and comment below. And let us know what you want us to discuss for future episodes.
Also, please follow us on Instagram at Love Unlocked LLC for updates.